Well, I wanted to ask some questions about pharmacy. Do you like being a pharmacist?
Oh, so this is going to be an interview that Rachel Urey is going to do with me. I am so excited. Oh my God. Let me take a little drink of some water because I'm all excited about being interviewed by you.
So I'm going to tee the both of you up, and after I tee you up, it's your show to do whatever you'd like. Okay?
You are the boss.
All right.
All right. We're ready when you are, Dr. Todd.
Okay, I'm going to count us down. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Pharmacy Podcast Nation. This is a special show, part of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I am so excited today because this is a first for the Pharmacy Podcast Nation. It might even be a first for podcasting in pharmacy, where we have the pleasure and honor to bring on my daughter, Rachel Stephanie Urey, onto the Pharmacy Podcast Network for the first time. Rachel, introduce yourself to the Pharmacy Podcast Nation.
Hello, I am Rachel Urey. I am 9 years old, and I go to school in Evans City, PA. I'm a third grader, and you are listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
That was great. I'm going to turn the show over to you, Rachel, and today you're going to be interviewing Ken, who the Pharmacy Podcast Nation is very well aware of. Ken is known as the Concierge Pharmacist, and he's doing some dynamic things in the industry to help not only people, but also kids. So with that, Rachel Urey, the Pharmacy Podcast Show is all yours.
Okay. So, Ken, how long have you been in the pharmacy industry?
Well, some would say too long, but I won't say that because I love our profession, Rachel, and I love the fact that you are reaching out to learn more about it. So it's about 40 years to the day tomorrow that I graduated from St. John's University here in New York. So I have been a pharmacist for over 40 years.
So, okay, next question. What flavors do you offer for medicine for kids?
Oh, every flavor under the sun. When I was dispensing prescriptions at CVS Pharmacy and people would come in, their children wanted antibiotics, it was my opportunity to put a smile on their face when they weren't feeling well, because of putting a bubblegum flavor or raspberry or spearmint or any of the of banana. So I would go to the mom who was there with her daughter or her son, and I would say, "Excuse me, Mom, I need to speak to the boss. What flavor would you like, Rachel? What's your favorite flavor?"
Orange.
Well, we had orange. We had orange. We had all the flavors under the sun. Because if the patient didn't take their medication, we didn't get our job done, and the doctor who prescribed it wouldn't be able to make that patient feel better. So flavoring the prescription is really important because it leads to them taking it the way they should.
Yeah. So what do you put in prescriptions and medicine? Name a few things you put in some of them.
Well, back in the day when my father was a pharmacist, we used to put a lot of things in there. We used to actually compound them, take ingredients, and actually mix it themselves with something called a mortar and a pestle. And you would mix it together, and then sometimes you'd tap it into a capsule, or you'd roll it up into something that could be used a different way, or basically you'd put it into a liquid so someone could drink it. Well, those days, Rachel, are less prevalent and less common today than they were back when my dad was a pharmacist. Today, most of the medication, I'd say 99% of it, is already manufactured by the companies, and they're in bottles that we have to count them out accurately, make sure that the right drug goes in the vial, and pour the right medication. And on many occasions, when we have to compound it, to make sure we do it correctly. So everything you can imagine goes into that vial that goes to you so you can stay healthy.
So you would say that you like being a pharmacist, right?
No, I love being a pharmacist because it allows me to help patients. When I went to school at St. John's, my one goal was to help patients. And when I started at St. John's over 45 years ago, I just wanted to help patients. So I don't know of many other professions that from the day you get up in the morning when you start until the night when you go home, that you're there helping patients. So I love being a pharmacist.
Hmm. And I do know that you like being a pharmacist because, as you said, like you're helping other people get better of sickness and they don't want to be sick. So it's good that you're helping them, right? Yeah.
It is. And it's almost like a family.
Yeah.
When I would talk to my patients, I would talk to them and try and listen to them and then help them like they were my family members. So like when dad or mom in your family know you're not feeling well, or maybe you even have trouble, in work to do at school or in sports, they're there to help you. A pharmacist is there to help the patient with whatever they have. We have 2 ears, we have to listen. So if the patient says they need help, it's our job to do everything, and as a matter of fact, even get them across the street if they can't look both ways.
So do you think more people should become pharmacists?
I think it's a wonderful profession. And I think that our opportunity to help more patients by expanding the role of the things that we do, absolutely, there is more opportunity for our profession than there's ever been. So the people who are graduating this weekend, some of my students who sent me pictures just this morning from University of Buffalo, beautiful pictures of them in their caps and gowns and with flowers and with their family and with those smiles. Those are the bright lights, Rachel. Those are the people who are going to make this profession of pharmacy wonderful opportunities for the ages.
So I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Well, can I ask you some questions?
Yes, you can.
How did you get to be such a pretty girl? I mean, we're just going to be talking, but I'm looking at you on Zoom, and I have 2 daughters. They're a little older than you. They actually have daughters of their own, and I absolutely love the fact that your dad is talking to you about how you can get involved in helping patients and just learning more. This is about education.
Yeah.
You sitting in front of a microphone asking me questions, I think is extraordinary for a young woman like yourself to be that well versed and that well situated to do that. So my question to you is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I was planning on being an engineer, but after talking about this pharmacy stuff, I'm actually thinking rather to be that or a pharmacist, and maybe either one. I'm not quite sure.
Well, I can tell you, and I'm a little bit older, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So don't worry about making that decision today. But the world has so many opportunities for you, Rachel, and in the pharmacy profession, in the healthcare profession, there are so many opportunities for someone who's got a good heart, someone who can offer care, compassion, and empathy, which I know in just talking and listening to your dad talk about you and the family, and you all have that, that's already in your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you want to be involved and have relationships with people, there's no stopping you from doing anything that you set your heart into.
Yeah. As long as you... What?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I forget what I was going to say. You can say what you were going to say.
That happens to me a lot. I forgot what I had for lunch yesterday, actually. When you get older, that happens a lot. So really, the goal is that don't ever let anybody say that you can't do anything. Try things, see what they're all about, and get involved.
Yeah.
What do you think a pharmacist does? What is someone who really is kind of involved because your dad is involved? What do you feel a pharmacist does for patients?
Well, I feel like they offer good care to their patients by giving them medicine so they can get better. And if because they're sick they can't do something or something because they're sick, then once they get better, they can do the things that they love to do, which they like doing that.
So really a pharmacist, from what you're just saying, is kind of someone who helps the quality of life of that patient it's not just about giving them the drug. It's about making sure that when they take the drug, that it actually is taken properly so that it can do all the things that it's meant to do when the doctor prescribed it. So to me, it's about communication. And I have to tell you, for a young woman like yourself, you have excellent communication skills. So your dad has done a very, very good job, and your mom, and you've come up in a world where you really know how to talk about the things that are important. So I encourage you to, whatever you do, always look about staying in touch with people and communicating with them. And they're going to want to do something with you, Rachel, because you sound like a wonderful, wonderful young lady.
So, are there any more questions that you wanted to ask me, or are you out of questions?
Oh, if you know me, you know I'm never out of questions. But I really want to talk about you, because the Pharmacy Podcast Network and your dad have given me the opportunity to talk about me a lot. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the pharmacist have an opportunity to do even more, to do more time with the patient. So we believe that what your dad and the Pharmacy Podcast Network, and now you as the future podcaster for the Pharmacy Podcast Network, you are the future leader. Look Dad in the eye and say, Dad, your day is done, babe. I'm taking over. You can sit in front of that microphone with me any day, and we can talk about how we're marrying the young and the old. It's like a marriage. Something old, I'm old. Something young, new, that's you. And maybe together, you and I can kind of reshape the way patients look at pharmacists and patients look at healthcare a little differently. Would you like to do that with me?
Yes, that would be very nice.
All right, you have to tell your dad that we need to carve out some time, because anything you want to do in life, if you want to you just have to make the time. But I'll be happy, that's 3 happies, to talk with you anytime. Of course, around your school, because that's got to be your number one priority, and around all the things you love to do. I don't know, did Dad say you like to play lacrosse? What are your sports? What do you do?
Well, I do karate, and that's basically all.
Oh, karate. I haven't done anything to upset you, have I? I know you're not going to stop me, okay. But as long as you do the things that you need to do, you can call and we can schedule time anytime to have a conversation where Rachel Urey and Ken Sternfeld will talk about just life and pharmacists and how young future people like yourself can be involved in helping patients. Because it doesn't matter what it says at the end of your name, doctor, nurse, physician's assistants, pharmacist. If you care about patients, you're a care provider. And I have a feeling you're in your career, in your life, you're going to be a wonderful care provider. Even my cat, I don't know if you can hear him in the background.
Yeah, I can. I can hear it meowing.
Yep, that's Oscar. We're watching Oscar. My daughter is in Aruba, so we get to watch their 2 cats this weekend, Oscar and Linus, on top of our own 2 cats. So I have 4 cats running around the house. It's a little nuts, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Do you have any pets?
Well, there's one cat at our house. Her name is Fleen. My older sister has a bird, Beep. It's like a Suncarnier, which is kind of like a mini parrot. There is a guinea pig named Mr. Snuggles, and there used to be 4 fish in a snail, but now there's only 1 fish, and the fish's name is Fred.
Well, I see an opportunity for a veterinary pharmacy for you. You obviously have the breadth. You have almost the Pittsburgh Zoo down there with all those animals. So why don't we next time we talk, I'll do some research. I'll work for you. I'll do some research. My cousin Bert, who unfortunately he's not with us anymore, but he was one of the first pharmacists on Long Island to flavor medications for pets. He would go out, and if there was a cat who needed a medication because she was sick, he would find a tuna fish flavor for that cat. And he inspired me, because he was everything I hoped to be as a concierge pharmacist. Why? Because even a little kitty who just couldn't even talk, if he knew he could make that kitty happier by getting a tuna fish flavored liquid or pill for them to take. He knew that that kitty would get healthy, and he felt that as a pharmacist, he was doing the right thing. So maybe our next conversation is about how pets and pharmacists can be best friends. How about that?
Yeah, that would be a very nice conversation.
All right, so have your people call my people and we'll set it up because, you and I are these famous hosts now. We have to have people, handling all that stuff. So, tell your dad you're going to need an administrative assistant. You're going to need a secretary. You're going to need someone to you are going to be and already are probably one of the most downloaded after this show co-hosts on the Pharmacy Podcast Network because you are all that and a bag of chips, my young dear. And I really am glad we had a chance to meet.
Yeah, I'm glad I had a chance to meet you too. And you had a chance to meet me. Meet me.
Meet me. So we can have these conversations anytime. I think our listeners will love it. And we will make sure that we help a lot of kitties and parakeets and birds. And we get the right flavors for all the people who come into the pharmacies. We'll talk about things, Rachel, that are important to you. That's the thing that I would love to do. Because if I'm talking about what's important to you, just like with my grandson, he likes to talk about the Batman Lego show. He's a big Batman guy. So we talk about the Batman stuff and we talk about all the things that he wants. So I will talk to you about the things that you want. How's that sound?
That sounds very nice, Ken. Yeah. I like the sound of that.
It's my pleasure. So here's where we do our sign-offs. We thank the listeners. So you can, let's keep our voice down so they won't hear what we're saying. Just say I want to thank the listeners at the Pharmacy Podcast Network for listening today.
I want to thank the Pharmacy Podcast listeners for listening to this episode of the Pharmacy Podcast today.
My name is Rachel Uri, and
My
I'm
name
your
is
host today.
My name is Rachel Uri, and I'm your host today.
And we look forward to hearing you on another future episode here at the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
And we hope that you listen to another episode with me in it on the Pharmacy Podcast Network and other episodes.
Right, and this show is brought to you by PetSmart, where you could get savings on cat food. And then after tomorrow, we'll call PetSmart and we'll see if we can get like $20,000 for them to sponsor this show, okay? And then we'll put that towards your college education.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
I could use that college money.
Who is that? Who's talking?
Dad.
Who's that? We don't Todd Uri?
Todd.
That's yesterday's news, Rachel. He did this for 10 years. That's yesterday's news. It's all over for Todd. Welcome, Rachel Uri, to the Pharmacy Podcast Network. You're the best.
Thank you. That was awesome.
All right, my friend.